Bud Light party here to discuss equal pay.
Women don't get paid as much as men, and that is wrong.
And we have to pay more for the same stuff.
What?
Yeah, cars.
What?
Dry cleaning.
What?
Shampoo.
What? You pay more but get paid less? That is double wrong. I'm calling everyone I know, and I'm telling them about this. This has got to stop.
Bud Light proudly supports equal pay. That's why Bud Light costs the same no matter if you're a dude or a lady.
Yeah, Mom, you have to pay more for a car than Dad. No one treats my mom like this.
So Amy Schumer's Leather special just came out on Netflix last week, and it has already amassed over 2,000 responses, almost all of which are 1 stars that she is claiming come from alt-right trolls that are trying to sabotage her career. Now, in an Instagram post, she wrote that the alt-right organized trolls attack everything I do. They organized to get my ratings down, meeting in subreddit rooms. They tried on my book and movies and TV show, and I want to thank them. It makes me feel so powerful and dangerous and brave. Now, in that same Instagram post, she also talked about an article in SplitSider that mentioned some of the comments about Amy Schumer in the subreddit, the Donald. And so you can see here some of the things that they're telling their followers to do, right? It says, to those that still have Netflix, Netflix just added a new Amy Schumer special. Please go and 1 star that piece of shit. It has 1.5. Can we get it down to 1? These sorts of things. And you can see in some of their responses on Netflix that these are definitely trolls, right? So the first one I want to read is, I wouldn't watch anything with this ignorant, whining baby in it if you paid me. Does that make it clear enough for you liberal nut jobs?
Ignorant whining baby, that's your president.
These are my favorite comments. When you have, like, you can see these on YouTube, and clearly it's right here. It's like, I didn't watch this video, but I know it's stupid. I wouldn't watch this piece of shit. Then why are you rating it? You don't get to rate it unless you watched it. All right? Even if you're a few minutes in, you still can rate it, maybe then be like, oh, I got 3 minutes in, I gave it a hard effort. But if you didn't watch it, you don't get to rate it. You don't get to comment on it. Like,
God,
stop it.
I hope there was like at least one person who was like, all right, click. Now I'm gonna give this a terrible rating, and they start thinking about it, and then they start watching the video.
A little chuckle.
And they're like,
oh no, somebody
she's
watched.
funny. She's actually self-deprecating. Oh, and it's so good. I love that.
So, but I love that she's saying that it makes her stronger, right? Because she is this very, like, strong and empowering voice for a lot of women. Like, you don't have to love her comedy, but she is a very empowering voice for women. She speaks a lot about different political issues. Obviously, with the whole train wreck gun violence issue, she was very active about that. And I think the way that she talks about sexuality, frankly, even if it's not your cup of tea, you know, it's still great, and it's still opening this conversation that a lot of women are told they can't have out in public. So I think this is really important, and apparently it's offending a lot of people, which, you know, to her point, is making her feel more powerful and more empowered. So all good for her.
Yes, but also, you know, if I sleep with a guy on the first date, usually if a guy holds my hand, he's gonna wind up. So here's the thing. I don't think that women should use sex as a bargaining chip, and a lot of them do. If I want to sleep with someone, I do it, and I am a monogamous slut. Can I say that on air?
I think you can.
Great.
That's not what we're worried about.
But what I'm saying is, I have a higher risk of disease. I also have a much higher risk of fun.
No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is to prove my point by saying that, you know, you don't think it should be used as a bargaining tool.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as, you know, it's just the kind of point of the column is that abstinence is the one taboo issue regarding sex. I mean, it's like, oh, be a dirty stand-up comic. You're cracking new ground there, Copernicus. But once you talk about abstinence, everyone all of a sudden, they put you, like, right now, we have to talk about it. Because who is this kid who's talking about abstinence who, you know...
Well, it's who's this kid who's, you know, 23. You don't know who you're going to be sexually yet. So to talk about it with such authority and arrogance...
I don't know who I'm going to be what?
You don't know who you're going to be sexually yet. You're going to be into really weird things in about a decade.
Oh, I have no doubt. I have no doubt. Yeah.
Trust me. And the thing is, it doesn't...
But I really do want to do.
But there should be no confidence. And, you know, you slip by the dirty comedian thing, but honestly, you call yourself a comedian, but you don't do it that much. Like, I go fishing a couple times a year, but I don't introduce myself on TV as a fisherman.
Wow. Well, it's not really personal for a concept about abstinence. I'm saying the whole point is that someone can get up on stage, we even talk about it in the column, and talk about anything dirty that they want. But the second you mention abstinence, people, they pucker with discomfort, like, oh no, we can't talk about this, and you're vilified as judgmental. Statistically, it's the healthiest thing to do. It is conducive towards a better marriage by a 25% spread, both physically.
It only takes that one person, though, and there is no there's no contract that the person's not going to cheat on you because they're abstinent. She could
There
fall
is
in
no
love with
contract.
somebody
Well, actually,
else.
there is a contract. That's what a marriage is. It's a contract.
Well, it's a contract that more than 60% of people break.
No, actually, that's not true. Actually, if you even look at the new U.S. Census Bureau statistics, more than 70% of first-time marriages last.
Okay, but then the guy goes off and sleeps with a young boy.
Well,
good. You guys stayed married, but then there's infidelity.
Well, once you bring out the statistics that guys are running around rampantly sleeping with young boys.
First of all, I'm not a boy. I know I have.
For me, the pain I share with so many other Americans on the issue of gun violence, it was made extremely personal to me on Thursday, July 23rd, when I'm not even going to say his name, when he sat down for my movie, Trainwreck, at the Grand Theater in Lafayette, Louisiana. 2 lives were tragically lost and others injured. And I've thought about these victims each day since the tragedy. We'll never know why people choose to do these painful things, but sadly, we always find out how. How the shooter got their gun. And it's often something that shouldn't have happened in the first place. And today's push makes so much sense because it seeks to address the how. We need a background check system without holes and fatal flaws. We need one with accurate information that protects us like a firewall. The critics scoff and say, well, there's no way to stop crazy people from doing crazy things, but they're wrong. There is a way to stop them. Preventing dangerous people from getting guns is very possible.
You ever black out when you're drinking, or as I call it, time travel? Yeah.
Has anyone ever blacked out and been awake when they've come out of it? Thank you. Thank you, sister. It's kind of cool because it's like you're a time traveler. You're just like back in your body, like.
A tell is the best. A tell. Did you see his special road work?
I heard it's awesome.
It's so funny.
How about this? I personally like it. I like it when a girl tells me where to come. Don't like it when a girl tells me when to come. Instead of doing that, why don't you just tell us where? Make us feel better, especially if you're aggressive about it. I like when a girl goes, wow, come in my face!
My boyfriend usually comes in me. He usually comes in me, but sometimes you want to mix it up, right? You gotta have fun. We'll be having sex, and then he'll ask my favorite question, where should I come?
But it doesn't have to be that wild or explicit. Look, all the man wants to know is that you're interested and that you participate. You can say anything, he'll be happy. Oh, come on top of the television. All right, fuck it. The weirder the place, the better. Oh, come in my fishbowl. Damn, fishbowl.
Where should I come? As a comic, I want to fuck around and be like, in this jar! And just like...
Amy Schumer's audience walks out after she bashes Donald Trump.
It's very surreal.
The comedian was performing in Tampa when things got political.
So tell me why Trump has your vote. Because I can't trust Hillary. I'm not really voting for Trump, I'm voting against him. Okay, you can go sit down. So thank you, I appreciate that.
Then Amy trashed Donald, explained why she's voting for Hillary Clinton, and talked about sexual assault and gun control. All in all, it lasted about 10 minutes. Dozens of people exited, some even booed Amy.
Of course, we're in Florida, we're gonna boo.
One audience member tells ET it went on longer than it should have, especially since she was only out there for a little over an hour. Another eyewitness says many in attendance were talking about being uncomfortable with all the political talk after the show. This comes after Amy trashed Tampa in her best-selling book, The Girl with the Lower Back Tattoo.
What better way to open the book?
In it, she called the city horrendous and said the people of Tampa can't read. E.T. reached out to Amy for comment about the show, and she told us this. Quote, "We have always depended on comedians to make us laugh and tell the truth. I am proud to continue that tradition."
And you see the speeches, and I'm always struck by the fact that, you know, women accept awards and the first thing they do quite often is apologize. They apologize for not being funny, they apologize for not being articulate, they apologize for, you know, this isn't going to be a good speech. I wonder what you make of that. How did we get to that place?
I think because so many people hate women. There's so much anger toward women. I had to work to stop doing that. I'd be on set and I'd want to give a suggestion to, when we were filming Trainwreck, to Judd Apatow, and I'd say, sorry. And then I was like, I just noticed, I'm like, what am I doing? So I just made sure to not do that anymore.
You talked yourself out of it. It became a conscious thing.
Yeah, and it's out of my system now. I say I'm sorry a lot less than I probably should.
If you say the name Hillary Clinton, you know, in America,
Yeah.
you get incredible responses. There'll be those who love her, and there'll be those with visceral hatred on their faces.
Well, that's what I'm saying with the not being informed, because those people aren't informed. You know, if you go, why don't you like Hillary? They'll go, she lied about her emails. What else is she going to lie about? People get one fact, and that's what they latch onto about a candidate. They go, but you know, she lied about that. I'm like, well, Donald Trump has a fake college. Donald Trump doesn't pay his workers. He won't release his taxes. There's never been a nominee who's ever not released their taxes. So, and I don't think you can have I haven't had a conversation with anyone who doesn't like Hillary where they've had anything meaningful to say.
If it isn't Hillary in November, does your act change? Does your outlook
My
change?
act will change because I'll need to learn to speak Spanish, because I will move to Spain or somewhere. It's beyond my comprehension if Trump won. It's too crazy.